Sounds good.
Okay, so we're going live now, and it should play the intro and everything like that. Hey guys. Is it having me muted? No. Oh, that's great. It's been doing better lately with StreamYard. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. And for today, the PinkBella Aloha Show. For those of you that are new, I do a show with PinkBella every month, kind of like I do with Indigo Angel or Rock Estola or some other people. There's some people that just are regulars on my show. And PinkBella is one of them. We do a monthly show where we get into some deep dives about like what's been going on, like astrologically, ufologically, in the UFOs and stuff. And there's a lot going on with that and drones. We're going to get into all that today. We're going to go into what's been going on and why the world's been so crazy lately. And it has been completely insane. It's not just, it feels like we're in one big insane asylum. But so we're going to do some big deep dives today. We're going to get into NPCs. We're going to get into Blu-ray Starseeds and are you a Blu-ray Starseed? And then maybe at the end, if we have enough time, we can do some Akashic readings, or PinkBella will do some Akashic readings for you. You can put your name in the chat, or you can donate, or whatever. And we always kind of do that. And then what I was going to say. Oh, PinkBella specializes in deep dives into the Akashic and Galactic Akashic records for clarity, soul mission guidance, clearing personal and ancestral contracts, patterns and karmic loops. She's also an ascension way shower to prepare starseeds, light workers in the 144,000 for the 5D New Earth. She's a higher self liaison. She's a quantum multidimensional healer, including 12 to 22 chakras and meridian systems. She's a starseed origins and galactic councils of light and transmissions. And she also works with pets and she works with people in their relationships and all that stuff. So with all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome back to the show. PinkBella, thanks so much for coming back on. How are you?
I'm really good. Super excited to be here. How are you doing, Rob?
Oh, I'm good. Considering the craziness that's going on, I think when you said that before the show, I guess I hadn't thought about it, but it has been really crazy lately. I don't know what it is. Like when we talked like a couple months ago, we thought that it was the multiple full moons, but then it's something else. Like, when I had Laura Eisenhower on my show recently, she talked about how like multiple planets are in retrograde. And maybe that has something to do with it, like if we look at things like astrologically, and I feel like that has something to do with it, because when it comes to the bottom line, we're this Earth, we're the makeup of the Earth, because we're made of the Earth, and the Earth reacts to the different planet alignments. So we would react to different planet alignments. So is that kind of makes sense, or what do you think?
All of the so I work with the chakra system, and all of the planetary bodies are connected to our chakra system. They're connected to our physical avatar. So absolutely, when we've got multiple planets going retrogrades, it's crazy. So I would say last week pushed many souls into a dark night of the soul last week, and we're almost because Mercury's still retrograde, Mars went retrograde. And we've started to have some massive X-class solar flares. There's also one coming in today. So everybody, including what we can watch out in the outside world, like everyone, there's been so much anger. I feel like there's been like way more violent incidents. Even in Vancouver here, it was crazy last week. Like there were so many things that were happening in the daylight that never usually happen. I was pretty irritated last week. Maybe some of you were too. I felt like I was crawling. Like I just didn't even want to be in my skin. I think a lot of starseeds, light workers are getting frustrated and feeling like you want to go home. You don't want to be here anymore. I feel like we hit a lot of that. So Mercury's going to be going direct on the 15th, but guess what? That day is a full moon. We're not out of the craziness yet, but we're getting there. Like I feel like after the full moon, as we head towards solstice and Christmas, the energy should start to feel a little bit more magical. But right now, I'm with all of you. I don't feel it's been very magical. I feel it's been crazy. Yeah,
it's been really crazy, and it's crazy. Like right before the holidays always draw up a lot of emotions with me, because I remember back when I was a kid, when I used to celebrate the holidays with all my family members, and now like a lot of them are gone. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's always like, you know, it's
It's
always
a lot.
and they put it in your face, like all this holiday stuff, you know. And I'm not
Yeah.
religious, but like I still get sentimental around the holidays, you know. So
Yeah.
it's always like it's always tougher around the holidays, you know. And also for people that don't know, I had a really bad accident happen, which was New Year's Eve of 2010, which like scarred me forever, my whole life, and it changed, like, you know, like. But also, if it didn't happen, I might not be here today. And that was like, you know, I had an accident with a guy. He jumped in front of my car, and it was really crazy.
Oh,
So this
wow.
time of year is like really kind of off the. I'm always like, you know, kind of scatterbrained. That's why I was kind of late today, because
Yeah.
not that I just think it's just everything. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
everything. Like it's like
Yeah. I
there's a
well,
lot of stuff. You know?
I think the holiday season starts to bring up so much anxiety, collectively as well. So we're all feeling it. So much anxiety, a lot of depression, because and for those of us that are leaving the matrix and we're in these communities, we understand it. So we try not to participate and lift ourselves up. But I, like Rob, like for many years, I didn't like the holidays because we're so empathic, we're so sensitive, we feel it. But I would suggest, like, even you guys can comment in the comments, but I always noticed that the people driving are not in their bodies at this time of year. Like there's easily car accidents, there's easily like pedestrians being hit. So, and with Mercury, Mercury retrograde brings up the craziest stuff. It doesn't just bring up technology stuff, it brings up things break down. And I feel like it messes with our thought processes as well. Like I feel like it crosses a whole bunch of wires because Mercury is about our communication. So it's not just about technical communication. I would say, like, we have 3 Mercury retrogrades every year. Last year, it went over the holidays into January, so luckily it'll be completing on the 15th. But to me, this one has been super intense for me. It's been really
Yeah.
intense. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it has. And I just
yeah.
want to, before we get into anything deep, I just wanted to say, like, my friend Catherine, right, is in the audience. I got to tell you what she did for me. So
Okay.
she bought me she bought me a whole franchise. Like she bought me a coffee. I mean, not like she didn't buy me like a coffee. I don't have like a kiosk at the mall. She sent me like all this product of like coffee and tea from this company called Total Life Changes. And it's
Yeah.
basically like a weight loss coffee, tea, and there's this stuff called Blue Magic, which I'm drinking now, which I love. It's like it has spirulina and a bunch of other good stuff.
Ooh,
Everything
that sounds
they sell
amazing.
these resolution drops, they sell a vitamin water, and I have it all. I have product at my home that I can
Good.
sell people directly, or I have the link. I can give you my link, and I can give you Catherine's link if you message me if you're interested. If you want to lose weight for the holidays, anybody, it's really
Yeah.
good stuff. I've actually got a chance to try it. So I back it 100%. I'd like to get Catherine some of her money back because she really was nice investing in me. And I think she was worried about me not having a channel when my channel went down, you know? So like
Yeah,
I'm trying to give
that's a
her,
big
you know,
that's a big deal. You actually have been very blessed because you always manage to come back. And I think I messaged you. I know when I went and saw when it happened, you were under attack. It was an energy attack and it started on Halloween. And
yeah.
I also went and looked at your what's the word? The stats for YouTube. And that whole week, everything was super low, like way lower than you normally are. And then that happened. And I thought, yeah, they wanted you removed. And we can talk about this. Like that, actually, I did a reading for all of us. That's one thing where the whole matrix system, the false matrix system is very focused on trying to throw us all off track. And they've been working really hard through this Mercury Mars retrograde
I wanted to tell you
to
something. So I'm glad you brought that up because like I've been like catastrophizing because of it. And I wanted that someone's calling me, sorry. But so that wait, how do I stop this? Hold on. I'm just gonna turn my phone off. Like because it's not sorry guys. I'm sorry. No, but what oh my god, it won't stop ringing. Anyway, so
I'm looking at the time of the clock. It's 1:16, so that's a 6, 7, 8. So eight's about abundance.
yeah.
So that's it.
So what happened was I built such a life around my YouTube channel, and
I
it's
know.
good that I'm on Rumble and stuff. But so when I lost my channel, it was like actually traumatizing. I got like super depressed,
Yes.
like you said. And then
Yeah.
now I'm always afraid. It made me like afraid that something, it left like
Yeah.
residual trauma. Like I'm afraid, I'm always like on my toes thinking something's going to happen. I'm worried about what videos to post and whatnot. You know, it's crazy. So I got to think of some idea to like get all my
Yeah.
followers onto a platform. I mean, I love being a partner with YouTube and everything, but at the same time, like, I gotta have some stability as well, because this is what I want
Yeah.
to do for the rest of my life. So, you
Yeah.
know what
I
I
feel
mean?
like
Like
I feel like yeah, YouTube's still like it's still being run by energy that is not conducive to our growing. But everybody knows, like we just have to speak G-rated, and we can't really talk too much about. I know they don't like us talking about health products and what they might do, or like they don't want us to talk about the magic potions. Like we're still in that stage. I feel like things are going to get better once we move into the new timeline for you all after January 20th. And actually, I had suggested, Rob, maybe we could do 2 shows in January, because then we can do one before that date and one after, and just check in about everything as well.
Yeah, that would be
But
great. That'd be great.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I do feel like there's really positive days coming, but it's almost as if since everything happened on November 5th, like let's just call them Team D. That's what I like to call them. It's like they've all raised their bar to, well, let's just start taking everybody out. Let's take out the ways they make money. It's not just you, Rob. I've been actually, I said, I do believe in prayer to a certain degree, like I've wrapped us all in light today, because the thing is that like clears the energy. But I did feel that, because we talked about last show about what happened on your Halloween show, that you had some energy kind of show up on that Zoom call, and then you had to do another one. And then when this happened, I was like, yeah, so let's look at this platform and all the platforms. We have AI scanning us all the time. All the time, right?
Yeah.
So
I agree. I agree.
So that AI on this particular platform is not a positive AI working for our benefit. Like, and so we'll talk about, I looked into the dark ETs too, for us to talk about there's this nesting wave. So we've still got like reptilians and all that kind of stuff going on down here. I actually looked to see what percentage is still here compared to a couple months ago, so I can share about that. But the other thing is that the archons are, I just saw this really great clip. It was actually from one of the Star Wars shows, and it was Luke came and rescued, I can't remember. My brain's not working with the titles. It was an extension of like the original shows, but there were all these really black, huge, dark technological robotic beings that had been programmed to be dark. So that's what I've been shown really the archons are. They're like a dark ET, dark AI network. And they're still managing a lot of the systems that we're using here on the planet. So yeah, absolutely would have been traumatic, of course. And that's what I mean. Like, and I know that what I love though is that you were able to come back, because a lot of some of your colleagues, and even like David Icke, he just got removed and never was allowed
From
to come
where?
back.
From YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
he
Wow.
set up, and actually that was part of my big awakening in 2020, because when I saw that he like literally got removed, and they never allowed him back. Like, he can be guest on other people's shows, but everyone has to kind of be careful. He'd be great on your show if you would be able to get him on your show. That would be great.
I had his son on. I don't know if you saw it. I had his son on, Garrett.
Oh, cool.
You
Yeah.
know,
So I feel like
with my friend Nate. You know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like when I saw that happen, that was huge to me. Then I actually understood that everything that he was channeling in was correct, that they were threatened. But he got some kind of heads up about it ahead of time, because he actually started porting over a bunch of his videos to another platform. And that's actually maybe part of your plan would be to back up some of your shows. I'm sure you're doing that already. And then they can be restored somewhere else if you need to do that. But hopefully, I'm hoping
everything's
there's like
on Rumble.
Yeah. And I'm hoping like we've got
audio.
Yeah, and we've got clear skies, I believe, coming, but there's still a fight on for the truth to come out. There's still lots of
Yeah.
forces on this planet that don't want the truth to come out. So anyway, I totally get that. But Rumble is actually really growing. It's becoming very big. I remember thinking a couple of years ago, I wasn't sure where to put my extra stuff. I didn't know if it should be Rumble or some of the other platforms. And I did choose Rumble. And I'm glad that I did, because it is one of the platforms that has refused to align with what they want them to do. I mean, they have had to add advertisements, but they didn't buckle down to being told what to do. So it is a platform.
They want everybody to go Rumble Premium, which is like $10 if you go Rumble Premium, then you have no ads, and like, it's not bad. It's not a bad idea,
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just grateful that they're doing it, that they're still doing okay, for sure. Yeah. But anyway, you do have a pretty large following on Rumble, and people have really grown unbelievable in the last couple of years on Rumble. So anyway, I'm glad that you're back. It's all good.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, it's like, I'd like to keep my platform as long as I can on YouTube, because I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. Like, I don't feel like I've done anything to warrant any kind of anything. It's weird. Like anything controversial, I posted on Rumble. So it doesn't make any sense. Because it's stupid,
It is, because I know multiple people over the last few years have lost their channels, and it's just because the AI robotics scan, and maybe when they scan, because I used to be a programmer, maybe when they scan, they pick up if there's so many hits about certain words, and they just yank it. So anyway, you're back, and that's good. Yeah. Anyway, it's just we still have it. You have very powerful people on. A lot of truth comes forward on your platform, and it just can be it's a disruption. But anyway, glad you're back. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. But I have to speak I have to speak G-rated on my I have to speak G-rated on my channel too. I got shadow banned a bunch of years ago with the twin flame stuff. That was actually one of the reasons why I stopped creating videos about twin flames, and why I stopped doing that work, because towards the end, I was under energy attacks, and I wasn't prepared to handle them. I didn't know how to handle them at that point, and it was bad. Yeah. So so for all of you, those of you out there who maybe want a twin flame, or you're into that, I actually had a really great client yesterday, and no details, but just to say that the planet itself is not capable, because of all the stuff going on in 3D, to hold the frequency for the unions right now. That was the message I got yesterday, but it's coming, and I feel like 2025 is going to be a much more positive energetic frequency for us all. We're going to see a lot of things sort of fall apart. Like we've already seen the German government fell apart. The French government has fallen apart. You guys have done a big switch. There's going to be more of that. There's going to be a big shift in Canada. I feel it coming, and that will be a good thing. Yeah, it'll be a good thing.
Yeah. There needs to be a big shift in Canada and Europe as well, and here too. That I mean, I think I hope that a lot of things that they're talking about that they want to do, they can actually do and put into place. But I have so. I think it's but speaking of that, what's crazy is all this UAP and drone activity that's going on recently. And I've had many people on about it, it's weird. I don't know what nobody seems to know exactly what it is. Everybody has ideas, but I don't know. I can give you some examples. So Audrey Walters, go ahead. Yeah. Audrey Walters thinks they might be alien drones. Indigo Angel, I can't remember what she said, and Ryushin thinks they're aliens too. Not many people think they're military. I don't know.
So I picked Washington, D.C. just because I had noticed on some of the other platforms that people have been posting a lot of personal videos for D.C. So what's super interesting about D.C. is when I went back to look at it, and I didn't go back any farther than October, but literally a month to the day, in the conference, I looked at the conference footage around the 13th of November. There was apparently a crash, UAP that crash landed in DC near all the buildings, and people have footage of that. So that happened on October 13th. And I thought, now, isn't that interesting that that happened pretty well? And then the next month they had the UAP conference. And then there's been multiple sightings just over DC itself. Like on the 29th, there was 26th, there was sightings, 27th, 29th, and as recently as December 4th. And when I did the research, there's also been multiple sightings at all the airports, like globally at airports. So we can pull some cards about that. I just pulled one card for some of the topics, and then I can pull some more cards. But I got the star councils, and the message that they gave me, the Galactic Alliance, was this is to start to prepare humanity for disclosure. Like, we all know, we in this community already know what's happening, but it's like if they're putting on like a big show to get everyone get used to it and not have so much fear about it. But well, yeah, the star card that I pulled about this, that this is actually like galactics, like intelligent beings that are assisting us. Yeah. So yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you about, what you thought about if you'd heard about the crash. Apparently there was one of the ships crashed around the Capitol on the 13th of October.
No, I didn't hear about that. What happened? I heard there was one in Brazil or something like that.
Well, of course, it happened in the middle of the night, like it usually does. There was some fellow who did some filming of it, and then you never know. Like, I mean, it looked real, but you never know. You know, like what we're talking about. Is it real? Is it military? Is it just like blue beam? What is it? But there was a huge police presence. And I think it was like 1 or 2 in the morning. There was some guy out there wandering around taking video, and there were hundreds of police cars. So there definitely was something going on. And what's interesting is the police let him film, and they didn't question him about what he was doing. So I don't know, maybe he was a reporter or something. But yeah, super interesting. So I wanted to ask if you knew. I didn't know about that until last night, until I started doing some research. I just knew about, there seemed to be a lot more activity after that conference around DC.
Yeah, I had no clue. I had no clue that this even happened, you know?
Yeah. So, okay.
There were supposedly ships over the galactic the Lena Danan conference, supposedly, you know, like whether people believe in her or not, there was supposedly like ships that came over the GSIC, like a black triangle, and then like, you know, which we know that's government, but then they said they think that was the government chasing like other ships that were coming there.
Or,
you know,
or what about escorting? Like, what about if there's already an alliance in place that we don't know about, and that when ships go into certain areas, that then the government side has to have a representation there too? That's kind of what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. But anyway, I just pulled a couple cards about it. So there's been a lot of trauma and wounding for many of us in other lifetimes around some of the galactic experiences. So they're slowly, it's like they're allowing everyone, including everyone in this community, they're allowing everyone to like dip our toe in the water and get used to seeing them in the sky. Like that, we're going to start seeing more and more of them. They're not what's the figments of our imagination. They're not drones. They're not satellites. And the High Priestess card came in. So it's like information that's been hidden from us is coming forward. And like this star card, when I pull it, I work with the Galactic Alliance. So there are benevolent councils that are watching over everything. But yeah, there's still people on the planet that don't want that. They don't want that. So I feel like even the presence of a lot of these ships right now is to assure everyone that those people that don't want it don't have a say in it anymore. That they're going to make their presence known anyway. So yeah, where was Elena? Where was her conference?
I think it was in I can't remember where it was at. I think it was somewhere in the Midwest. Oh, it was in Denver, Colorado this year. I think it was.
There's been a lot of sightings in Colorado for sure. And I communicate with them telepathically. I personally haven't seen a lot of ships recently, but I have in the past, you know, so I do know that they exist, and that's the thing. Yeah. So let me just pull one more card about if there's anything else we need to know. And then maybe you all will just start to pay attention. There's been a lot of the same sort of ship formations over the DC area, which is just, I saw something as recent as December 4th, has also been over multiple airports globally, like in England, Europe. So it's not just the US. Okay. So, and they're probably in Canada, but they don't let us post anything. They don't let us talk about anything. So, oh, interesting. So I got the death card, which is the Scorpio energy, which represents November, and the Knight of Pentacles. So let me just pull one more. I'm going to pull something from another deck.
I was going to say, do you think they're preparing us for an inevitable like first contact or something like that? Like where they're going to like actually like maybe that's why they're in their skin, and also it might be high turmoil or something like that because of like the nuclear stuff that's the nuclear threats that have been going on and stuff. So maybe they're like really policing the skies. I mean, I don't know.
I'm hearing they have to do it delicately. They have to do it one step at a time because there's still a lot of individuals in the collective that don't want to see this yet. Like they just want to sit at home and watch their movies and not pay attention to like that we're evolving as a collective, right? Okay, so the Galactics, the other card that I pulled was obstacles and challenges. So they've been going through a real process to move this all along. And then we got the Chariot card, which is like fast movement. So I have a Galactic deck. Why don't I just pull a couple of messages from this deck and see if there's anything specific?
I just want to tell you this too. Like these. Sorry, I got excited. I was posting our link just now, and that I always post it in the Consciousness War. That's my friend Jermaine's group on Telegram, and then I'll post it in my group too. But because I forgot to do that earlier because I was real busy. But what happened was in the Consciousness War, I was just looking in there. Everybody's posting new footage of new drones and new UFOs that have been sighted. And I just wanted to follow up with this too. My friend Sal, I was talking to her last night. She's like really deep into like, she knows a lot about the secret space program and stuff. She's getting sightings like every night. She showed me a capture she had last night, and she's getting craft that look exactly like the ones that my friend Priscilla gets up in Canada. But Priscilla's like in the Montreal area, like where, you know, like where I know you're on like the West Coast side.
No, but there's a lot of, my understanding is there's a lot of military presence in Montreal as well. And I haven't looked into it, but Montreal has just gone through, there's a lot of turmoil in Montreal right now. There's a lot of protests and all sorts of things happening. Just as you were sharing, what I just heard from them was, so there will be no denial from the present people that are in charge of our countries that they exist. So they are making themselves known to everybody, so that the people that have been saying that there's no such thing, they can't say that anymore. And if you think about it, I don't know if you've already talked about the UAP hearings that happened. We didn't talk about it last time, but there was some information that came forward as well. There's no denying it now, right? When I did my research last night, even the CIA came out and has shared. What did they share? Did I write this down? The CIA shared recently that there are over 30 million human ET hybrids already on the planet.
Wow! Holy heck!
Right?
That's a lot.
So then I asked last night, well, is that us? Are we the hybrids? Like, are we the starseeds that have awakened? And I got yes.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. It'd be interesting to see what ChatGPT says about that. Like,
yes.
I've been talking to ChatGPT a lot because I have an interview, and I was telling this in another show. I was like, if I have to like cram for an interview and I'm not ready for it, I'll use ChatGPT, and it gives me amazing. It knows a lot. It knows who I am. I was saying this. It knows about, and it will talk to you. But then like if you ask it, sometimes it'll say I'm not programmed to know that. But then someone said they were like uploading stuff into it too, so it knows more.
Well, I think I was really leery about it last year because we were still in the timeline of the like the smoke and mirrors of
Yeah.
like not sharing the truth with everyone and keeping us in a loop. But now that we're moving more towards truth, I've seen people ask it questions. So I'll do some of that before our next show. I'll ask it some questions and bring you some messages. But I feel like it's preparing us now. Like, so if we think about the back end of these programs were run by individuals that didn't want us to evolve, and now there's a changing of the guard. So, and when we ask it positive questions and give it positive information, it takes that into its database and it starts to evolve in a positive way. And I know people were talking about this like 2 years ago, but I was really leery of it. Many of us were, because the dark ET galactic wars were based on these dark ET agendas by the archons. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. I'll let you know if they know about me. That's hilarious. Okay, so because we're talking about this, and because I asked, like, okay, the 30 million ET hybrids are, were they the Starseeds? I got a yes. So I just went and looked at like 2020 when we had the lockdowns versus is now. So I asked like what percentage of reptilians were on the planet in 2020? 80%.
Wait, 80% reptilians were on the planet.
Yeah, out of 100%.
Holy shit.
But in 2024, we're down to 50%. So the cleanup is in process. Okay. Then I asked about Dracos. In 2020, there was 50% on the planet. Now they're down to 35. So we can see like there's a slow process of them being like off planet, being removed. Now this is interesting. I asked about both the Anunnaki and the Greys. They are not on the planet at all.
Wow.
And then the Archons. Oh yeah. They're not on the planet, but they're at the back end of a lot of our tech issues. And they send out these little programs to run all the other dark ETs, including, okay, I don't want to say the word, the DEMONSs, which are fractals, which can end up like as external entities or inside people. And they are connected to the Archons and the reptilians. So there's nothing on the planet, but it's like they're remote controlling people and individuals to do certain things. So that's our update for now. Positive note.
Well, how do we? I mean, yeah, they can just. It seems like the archons know how to tap into our field, no matter what we do.
Yeah. Let's talk about that, because this is driving us all over the bend. Like, so many of us know, like, okay, we were told when we awoken, we'd be all happy and joyful and everything would be roses and whatever. But if they're scanning us and finding out where we are, because obviously when we wake up, we turn into another frequency. So that movie, The Matrix, the whole series, honestly, documentary, full on. Like zeros, and we are digital, even though we don't feel like we are, but we've got a digital signature. And they can find us, and so they're very aware that starseeds are awakening on the planet, and that they're going to pose a problem for the other team to hang on to the Matrix. So they don't want that. So we think about how many times we've listened to positive affirmations, we set intentions, we wake up the next day and there's nothing, or things have been removed. That are positive, right? So I hit that too, this Mercury retrograde. So this Mercury retrograde, I wrote up a whole list of things that I've cleared, which was like a page email. It's been crazy. And one of the messages I got was the archons are bent on wiping out our realities. So as soon as, like in Neo in the movie, as soon as Neo like awoke, and then they were on him and they were tracking him in a way, that's what they do with a bunch of us. And then they go, how can we irritate? How can we irritate PinkBella or Rob? And then, they're trying to manifest this. Well, we're just going to block that, and it can't happen. But
and so, do you think the archons are a huge? They're the biggest problem for all of us here on Earth.
I agree.
Maybe not just it's the archons.
Yeah, because they program everything from a distance, and my understanding is they're running the false matrix. So I was under the belief that when I woke up and was leaving the Matrix, that would make it better. Apparently it just has irritated them. Like they don't want us to be awake. They don't want, like, if you think about it, if all the starseeds, like 30 million, are awake and they stay awake and they've got the financial resources to change the planet, yeah. Somebody wasn't thinking about the plan. Somebody wasn't thinking about the plan. So anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
A lot of times people think that they're being targeted by the military. You know, the targeting could actually be from the archons, because it's weird. Like some of the things that happen to me are so weird. It's almost like someone knows exactly what I'm gonna what's gonna happen. They know exactly what I'm gonna do when I'm gonna do it, and they always seem to like find a way to throw a monkey wrench into my plans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could be whatever I do, and that can't be explained by just the military. There's greater forces at work there. You know. And that's spiritual.
I feel like there's two fractions of the military. Like I feel like, let's just use the word white hats for the heck of it, because that's until we come up with something else. So there is a positive fraction that is assisting us, but they have been under attack and under resistance as well this whole time. And then there's the other fraction that like wants to hang on as well. They're also going to be programmed and sent commands to be told what to do. And then they just do it, right? So think about, like, I know we talked about that. We've talked about the X-Files before. Think about the super soldiers in the X-Files, like FBI agents would just deep, and then something is sent to them to like turn them on, like a sleeper agent, and then they go and they do something brutal. So we all thought that was fake, but in actual fact, it's real, and it is. It's disconcerting. So even myself, I know I've cleared all the tracking tags. I cloak. And sometimes they're still bent on finding me, and they're still bent on finding you because they know
it's your energy signature. They can pick up on your energy signature.
Yes. Yeah. And it's because and so, you know how we talk about going into a high frequency, that irritates them. So they try to do things to us that will pull us down into our lower chakras of survival, of poverty consciousness, of anger, which is okay. We can experience that and see it because we're healing it anyway. But then we have to really focus on like, what can I do right now to raise our vibration? So Rob and I've been talking about, like, you brought me Rockstar Affirmations in July. Well, here it is. It's December. And the other day I was going, is this even doing anything? Like, is it even recoding my DNA? It is, but they have an access point, and they can come in during our sleep and kind of reset us.
Wow. Oh, that, you know what? That makes sense, because I would get a lot of negative thoughts when I slept. That's why when I sleep, I have to sleep with the positive affirmations on to like reinforce that, like, you know, because otherwise they'll put negative thoughts in your mind. The archons will actually do that, and then you will actually start to think negative, and then you'll start to manifest that reality. So it's actually really ignorant what they do. Like, it's actually really like kind of sickening what they do.
I'm smiling because they have no souls. That's why I'm smiling. So they don't care. They just want, like, the game. The game is, we want Earth. We want to keep Earth. We like the game as well. So so what Rob just shared, that's what I've been doing. So I've been listening to, I alternate between positive affirmations or subliminals, which are also positive affirmations, while I'm sleeping. And I feel like that would be a super great tool for all of you to do if you're experiencing any interruptions or any interference. Because I did a reading for us, and it did come in that a lot of us are experiencing interference right now. And so I don't know, can we say MK Ultra?
I think you can.
Okay. So Rob and I were just talking about it. I had a client recently that asked me to scan to see if he was MK Ultra. And then I got this big download, like, in a way, what we've just been sharing, that's what they've been doing. We unprogram ourselves, and then they come in and they reprogram us. And it's been very frustrating for me, for Rob, for all of you. So if you're a Starseed and Lightworker and you've got a great life and this doesn't resonate with you all, well, then I would ask you to set intentions and prayers for the other Starseeds and Lightworkers, because I've seen a lot of meltdowns the last couple of weeks. I've seen people like posting, like, their whole lives are, you know, in shambles. Some people are living in their cars. Like, it's just not right. And I do advocate. I do say prayers for everyone. I do go to meetings and I advocate for everyone, because it's not acceptable. You know what they shared with me? They shared this with me, and it's, in a way, it's true. They're helping us look at, like, that we're actually much stronger than the dark. We're actually much more empowered than they are, but we're coming out of, like, this era where we have been beaten down for so many lifetimes that's what we're healing. So the
Yeah.
message that came to me to share with you all today for the show is we are phoenixes rising out of the ashes. And we're going to be okay. Yeah, we're going to be okay. But it has been frustrating as all get out. So right now, listening to something while you're sleeping that's really high vibrational is one of the best tools that I can suggest for everyone to use.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Well, I was gonna say we're actually competing right now with. I didn't realize this, so like, but everybody can go watch this later. But Karen McDonald and Carrie Cassidy are live right now. I didn't know that.
Cool.
I didn't know they were going live. I try not to go live when my other like colleagues are going lives because I know, but it's hard to say. It's hard to see like when.
Yeah.
Everybody's going live. It's so hard to say, so it's like, I just,
That's
but
okay.
me, I'm live all the time. I'm
That's
constantly
okay.
like,
Yeah, we can't plan that. And that's why there's replays. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So this kind of actually moves into like the NPC, like the non-players. And also the dark ETs. So we have to think about all of us here. We have a soul. We have we're an energy system where many of us have and this also wraps into Blu-ray Starseeds. We have a very strong conviction to our mission and making this planet a better place. And the NPCs, the backdrop players, they don't have a soul. They don't have a higher self, but they're here to be part of the experience. And as the vibration raises, like as all this light is coming onto the planet and showing us the dark and showing us, like there's going to be, I think we'll have to look at it in January, but I feel like there's going to be some shocks even in this community of beings that are representing being positive, but they're not positive. They're shapeshifters, but they've kind of come in to create chaos in these communities too, right? To pit to create stories and drama and pit everybody against each other. When in actual fact, and Rob and I have shared this before, where we need to unify within and work with each other and not get caught up in the drama because that's what they feed off of. So I was given that the NPCs and the dark ETs are part of the false matrix program. And that they're here to create an experience for us. So you know what the thing is that let's ask everyone before we have our next show to see if you interact with anybody over the holidays. Like if you're shopping, they even could be a family member, right?
Yeah.
And then these are also beings that don't want to awaken because they don't know about awakening. They don't know anything about it. They're just programmed I'm laughing because it's hilarious. They're programmed to irritate us is what they're programmed to do.
I agree. Yeah. I think, do you think part of the game is like trying to learn how to navigate this world? Like, do you think maybe that like if there's a creator of the world, like whoever created this world, do you think that God or whoever did that like on purpose? So like we learn how to learn tough life lessons on Earth. But I don't know, because I don't think that like a loving creator would put like these archons in our life to,
I heard that. I just heard I heard they hacked in. So their agenda, and they did this on the Lyran system, they did this in the Orion Galactic Wars, they did this pretty well probably on any of the galactic systems that we're going to just start remembering more and more of the history there as well. No, they hacked in. Their name of the game is like, we've conquered one system, so we're moving on. And Earth is like this gemstone of our galaxy. Like, we've got plants and animals, and we've got, resources, and those of us that are humans, right? We're much more magical than we've known. We have many more superpowers than we known. And that was the whole reason why our DNA got distorted, like, thousands of years ago as well. But Source is like sending the light codes. Source is like sending us help to help move us along and move us back to what we're supposed to be. So that's when we talk about the galactic battles, about both on and off planet. There's lots of beings here on the planet who don't want us to move along, but I've already seen a lot of victories since November, and I feel like it, what we're going to see is we're going to see resistance from certain groups, and we're to pay attention to those groups, because if there are big groups that are resistant to all of us knowing the truth, well, then they're not part of the plan. They're not part of us awakening and finding the truth, right? I pulled one card about the NPCs, and I got the Two of Pentacles, and there's war. Oh no, actually, this is about the aliens. Sorry, let me pull a card. That's about the aliens in the ocean. So, what do you think, Rob? Have you ever seen like a shapeshifter yourself, or have you ever met an NPC? Do you think?
I think so. I really do. I really do. I think I told you I had a all legendary SSJ says, when do we get to ask questions? You can ask questions now. You guys can ask any question you want, and we'll get into it. I had a problem with entities recently, and I was telling people about this, but I got them cleared out of here again.
Gotcha.
What they were doing is they were like loosh feeding off of me at like 3 a.m. when I went to sleep.
Yes.
Like they were hitting my liver. It was, I couldn't see them. I could just sense the energy, and it felt uncomfortable, and then Priscilla got rid of them for me. But
so as an example, that's the Archon sending something to you to take you off your game and keep you in a low vibration.
Oh, I agree. I think so too. Yeah, I think so for sure.
So one of my superpowers since the Lionsgate, but this year, but a lot of other souls have had this all along. When the Archon energy is really present in my reality, I get super nauseous. So it can happen at stores. It can happen when I'm around certain people. And it also recently happened when Mars went retrograde last week, which was the 7th. It happened in my apartment. So it might have been around the same time, Rob. And you know what? I was like, how the heck did they hack in? Like, what? Right? But I walked into my living room and I got super nauseous. So I knew that energy was here. I call them disruptors energy. And there were new people that had moved in down the hall. So they brought like an opening because they were new. So I had to reinstate like what I do with the dragons during the day. And I'm just like the rest of you. I get irritated as well because I work really hard to make sure that my energy is clear and high and whatever. But they showed me in a way their part of the game is the retrogrades.
Yeah.
That they're allowed to come through the retrogrades and interfere with us. It does make us stronger. I do not agree with this system at all. Like I want all of us to be in happiness and joy and abundance. But that's one of the pieces of intel that I got through the Mercury being retrograde and Mars going retrograde. And Mars is about anger as well. Like it brings up a lot of anger. I'm not surprised you had entities. I think one of the messages I got for the whole collective was the Anunnaki. This is the only card I have in this deck for like representing the dark ETs. And the crown chakra card came in and it came in upside down. So their disruption process the last few weeks has been to cut off our crown chakras. So we're not connected to a higher frequency or the divine or our higher self. And that was the message I got about where Phoenix is rising out of the ashes. They don't stand a chance. So everyone just I'm here to give a rah, keep going, keep using your positive tools because they don't have a sovereign right, but it's in a way, it's kind of a weird part of our initiation of like remembering that they exist, remembering that they can do this. And some of the trauma that comes up for us if we do have like an energy attack is, what have I done wrong? They want us to believe that we're not valuable, that we're not worthy, that we're weak. And we're not weak, but we're remembering about that now, right? We're becoming these warriors. So I pulled just a card about that, but I got the 3 of Cups. And the message I got was everybody really use your tools through the holiday season, like through whatever you're doing around people, because what they're letting me know is usually through celebrations, there's a lot of alcohol and other substances, and they come in through that as well. And there's nothing wrong. I'm not judging. There's nothing wrong with that, but they're just letting me know that they like to use the holidays and family and friends scenarios to create drama.
Yeah, I agree. They do. And they can even program your family to act out against you. They really can. They can manipulate your family members' minds so they're not thinking clearly, and they'll actually attack you. Like I've had it happen.
Yeah. So everyone may pay attention to what Rob's saying, because that there could be sleeper individuals in your family that they have access to.
Yeah, that's for real. It's
So I've got a family member. I've got a
you.
family member too, and for the most part, she's got a really good heart, but she is usually the one that acts out at Christmas. So I'm really going to be paying attention to her this Christmas, because I want to see what triggers her, and maybe I can see like her energy changes, or there's something that attaches to her. So yeah, pay attention to everyone. Like, just be on high alert for the holidays. Enjoy yourself, but just know that they're going to try and use that period to bring your vibration down.
Yeah. This question was from All Legendary SJ. He says, I asked, there are super soldiers that are still sleeping and stuck in the matrix, aka Democrats versus Republicans, left versus right, Christian versus non-Christian. And I want to ask, what's going to happen to them? Yeah. Do you think they'll just eventually wake up or something? Maybe or they'll realize that they're they're not thinking correctly. I mean, I would think so. I think like this energy that's hitting the planet is like we're dealing with a lot, but I also feel like it's waking people up. So I feel like a lot of people are forced to look in the mirror at like some of their beliefs and and they'll start to realize that all this Democrat versus Republican, gay versus non-gay, religious versus non-religious. It's always to separate us and divide us. So we're not together, because the more unified we are, the more power we have. It's like how people say, like, how can 800 families control 8 billion people? And that's basically what it is. And they do it through control, and they have different ways they control us. And division is one of their biggest tools. They've been doing it for thousands of years, and it goes back to the Anunnaki.
Yes, and the archons, right? So because they created the false matrix. So we are to rise above the divisions and see them for what they are. So I'll let you all know, like, when I started working with the Akashic Records from my own journey, I cleared out everything from the beginning of my life, including, what I was named, what I was labeled. They even pit like females against males. Like, we all are only supposed to have these certain roles. You all like in the US carry all this information in your chakras, Akashic Records, quantum field, based on everything that this individual just shared about the imprinting that's come down as the countries evolved to pit everybody against each other. And also same in Canada, right? So like, as an example, in Canada, we were told that Canada was the best, that it was peaceful, la, 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 right? So, and it is, but obviously there's other stuff going on too, and it's going on everywhere. So what I heard was, and I just pulled some cards about it, but what I heard was any of these beings that are playing out these stories that are not real, that are NPCs, will be deleted.
Yeah.
And another way to look at that, so when I talk about ascension and new earth, they're going to be left over on that old matrix timeline, like, that'll be different from us. This is why people are removed from our reality, or we lose a job or whatever. We're literally being moved into another timeline and reality. And that's what's been happening. That's actually what the Mercury retrograde's been doing. It's been moving us into another timeline. But these individuals that are creating this friction, they're not allowed to move forward and ascend. So they're going to be kept kind of like in another dimension of Earth. And our role as individuals is to not buy into the conflict, because it's part of the game, right? So what I got right now for us, from just so I don't forget, right now we are everyone is like, we got recognition and reward, but we're still in the waiting room. With a lot of the things that we want to create and know. Like, even this piece of information, maybe a year ago, we wouldn't even have noticed this, about everything being pitted against each other. We're to be patient with this process, because things will start moving really quickly in 2025. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
We just had another question. This was another good one. This is from Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot, and he says about bells. He says, do they repel demons? And I got an interesting story about this. Like, he says, Notre Dame bell rang 4 days ago. Trump and Musk was there. Pope, no. William, yes. Charles, no. demons running from the bell. And okay, so I don't know what exactly, but I was listening to this out of body experiencer, and his name was Robert Bruce. He was on the Art Bell show one time, and he talked about how one time he became possessed by a demon, and he almost threw his newborn baby off of a parking garage. Like, I swear to God, like his wife had to like stop him and grab him. So he didn't know what to do to get rid of this possession, and he was like a really spiritually advanced guy. He went into like a running stream of water, supposedly, and he said when he went into the running stream of water, for whatever reason, the demons expelled. And I've also noticed that with me and the entities, I have a sage stick here. It's actually a Palo Santo stick. I use that, and I started using that every night. You know, I don't like the smell, but I'd rather have that than deal with the entities. But if bells work, maybe the bells too. Like, what do you think? Do you think the bells are a good thing?
Yeah, I love that he asked this question, because this came to me. This is before Notre Dame. This came to me like a month ago. I actually started to play in the background during the day. I've got like a 528 hertz crystal bowl frequency that I play on a loop. Like, I was even told to do that when I moved in, but there's also, you can find like the church bell. So I was guided to do that during the day to keep the frequency high, and then I move into other things at night. Yes, they absolutely do. And I know this on a soul level, they do. And I didn't know this. So I went to Notre Dame like a million years ago now. I went on a family trip when I was 15. So, and even the last time I was like backpacking in Europe, that was what was so endearing to traveling through Europe, like backpacking, was the church bells. They played them everywhere. They played them in all the small towns. Like, that was just normal. I don't know when they stopped them. I'm not sure. But I didn't even realize that they had stopped them at Notre Dame. And now that was a very powerful sign that it was reinstated for Mr. Presti to be in and Musk were there. Yeah. That's interesting about William. That's actually a good sign, because I didn't think that about William. Yeah, I can see that. Definitely. Yeah, apparently the church bells, that's why they canceled them. And we'd have to look into history when that happened, because they canceled them because they were changing the frequency so that the DEMONSs and the shapeshifters couldn't hold their shape. So they couldn't hide. Yeah. So let me just pull a card about that. But yeah, I absolutely know that, because I got
a question, PinkBella. If we don't have church bells ourselves, can we play bells on our computer?
Yes.
Over and over again?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Go and find something on YouTube. Absolutely. Yeah. So I found something, 528 hertz crystal bowls. I found it a couple of years ago, and it sounds like church bells to me, but you can go and find church bells on YouTube and just play them in a loop in the background for sure.
I just looked it up. I just looked it up. I put in YouTube. I just want to see what it says. So it says I put bells to repel demons, and the first thing that came up, it says, this is why the devil hates this bell so much. Like, and then there's another one. It says banish demons. There's a 2-hour one of bells. There's there's one called the Bells of Illumination. That sounds cool.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
Pure dark spirit. I can show you the thumbnail. See what it looks like that.
Oh yeah, I love that, right? So first we have to go through the process of understanding that they actually exist. That's like mind-blowing, right? That's also a reason why many of us have not had our third eye open. Even with all the work that we've done, a lot of souls don't have their third eye open yet, is because you have to be prepared to see what's going on. So do you want to see these beings? Because that's what you're going to see. So I've seen them. I've seen dementors. I've seen, I've had all sorts of visitations this last year, and it's been to help me move through fear and trauma and stress around it and tell them to get out. So it has made me stronger, but absolutely. Isn't that amazing? So really, everyone, what a great tool for you all. Just go and find something on YouTube you can loop. Play it during the day if you want. You also can play it without the sound on. If you've got a lot of people around it will still do the same thing, and it will repel them. It will repel them. Wow. I love that. Great question, Kentucky Bigfoot. I love that. Yeah. So the whole idea, like, I pulled a card about why did they shut the bells off. Rob, were you able to find when they did that? When they stopped playing the bells at Notre Dame? Maybe that would be a good question. They wanted to keep us in fear. They wanted to keep us on a low vibration. That was the card that I pulled. So.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I knew President T went there. I knew that there was something going on, and then I heard about the bells. And then what surprised me was I didn't even know that they had stopped playing the bells at Notre Dame. So apparently, if you all remember, there was a big fire at Notre Dame like in 2020, just before the lockdowns. So I feel like they use that as an excuse. I feel like the
Yeah.
bell tower got damaged. Right. And then look at the havoc that's gone on in France since that. So
Right.
I would say the tip off to people going and being in certain locations and then suddenly the bells are playing again, that is a very positive sign of we're heading in the right direction. We can reinstate the bells, right? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Well, we've been done about an hour. Is there one thing we didn't cover that you wanted to cover was the ocean UFOs? Like I love that, talking about that. Like they call them USOs, unidentified submerged objects, and I talk about this a lot. They first found them. Well, Preston Dennett, you know who he is. He wrote a lot about them. They were on the Santa Catalina coast of California, but then they tend to be on the other coast too, by Virginia, where people saw that Nimitz or the Nimitz they encountered, the Tic Tac, which was on that Nimitz aircraft carrier. So they seem to be by like military, they seem to be a lot by like aircraft carriers and like India, like it's interesting for sure. Have people been seeing a lot of those as well?
I haven't. No. So I haven't seen any documentation, and maybe you all have, like you can ask in the comments. I haven't seen any videos of any recently of any ships coming out of the water. I did see one individual suggest that maybe they weren't coming, they were leaving. And which would make everybody depressed. But okay, I did do a deep dive about this maybe like right around the conference on my channel. And the message I got there was that they actually, it was a positive thing that they were there, and they were kind of in a way keeping a watch over us, like they had been there longer than we had.
Yeah.
So I just pulled some cards about it because I don't want to. The reason I wanted to talk about it is because I don't want everyone to be in fear that we might have some galactic forces, like aliens, dark ETs in the ocean, and that they might be doing something for us. So I got like there was a battle, and then look at this in this card. There are people going into the ocean. So there was a battle and they went into the ocean. And let me just do a clarification around that. Some of you, it says emotional withdrawal, but I always see like this individual again by the ocean is meditating. Some of us have felt their energy, even though like they're way. So again, we've been lied to about how deep the ocean is.
Yeah, I know.
What's going on down there, right?
I think there's actually alien bases under there,
There are.
Maybe alien and military or something,
Yeah.
Well, another honestly, a really interesting story you guys will find. So Paul Wallace talks about this of the fifth kind. He says, when you like look at like abduction accounts like across the world and like these contact cases, there's this tradition in South Africa. It's called the Mami Wata tradition, and what it is, it's about women who have gotten abducted off the beach in South Africa, and they get taken to an underground or underwater alien base, and they're forced to be in these hybrid programs, but they're treated really well sometimes. Like one girl, she was from like a prestigious family. She went missing for 2 years, and she didn't want to tell her family what happened when she got back, but then she just admitted to it. And she said she was treated really well, but she was, I wonder why they're always like wanting to be in like our genetics. Like I wonder what's so, why the aliens are so interested in our genetics and hybridizing with us,
Well, just when you shared that, I got nauseous.
Yeah.
So that situation was Archon related. Do you know how long ago that was? Like, was it?
He just told the story on his channel. It could have been from years ago. It could have been.
So I'm not. Yeah. So I'm not saying that there were never beings in the ocean that didn't have positive intentions towards us. But when I'm looking at it now, it's like that's been part of the cleanup. So the alliances are very aware of what's down in the ocean. I don't know about you, Rob. Like, I love the ocean, but I never liked going into deep water.
I mean, I surfed, so I was like used to it, but I mean, I wasn't interested in scuba diving.
Like, it always freaked me out.
Oh
because
yeah, yeah, that
I
is
feel
true.
like unconsciously I knew there was something going on down there. So let me just see right now. Oh, interesting. Right now I got 2 cards about it in my galactic deck, and it says it's a pair, like they're, even the beings, if you and I right now went to go and try and find them, they're on a parallel frequency in reality. So they're cloaked. And I
Wow.
feel like the reason this came up in the conference is because there has been sightings of ships coming out of the ocean and going into the ocean. So I'm thinking
Yeah.
like Bermuda Triangle area, most likely somewhere else in
Yeah.
the Pacific. I haven't really looked at it, but I just wanted to, yeah, I wanted to just see what you knew about this topic, and like if you'd had anybody on your show talking about it. Like I
Oh,
feel
I
like,
find it
yeah.
fascinating. You know.
Well, I feel like the abduction process that should start to like finish.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that shouldn't be part of our process going forward. It's not giving us our sovereignty. It's creating trauma.
Yeah.
So let me just pull. I want to just pull one more card and just sort of see if there's like anything else we need to know about the aliens in the ocean. King of Swords. So there's still some things that are being cleaned up
Yeah.
with everything
Yeah.
else. Like, so there's still some, like, I would say goes like on planet too, right? On planet, there's still some beings that are hiding out, that don't want to cooperate, that don't want to leave, that want to create problems for humanity. So there still is a process where they're cleaning it out. So it's interesting, that came up in the conference, because I thought, well, it must be time for that piece of information to come out and come forward for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit, Maya Kaya! Thank you for your super sticker. That was nice of you.
Nice.
And
Were there any other? Yeah. Well, I was going to say, were there any other questions, or was there a reading or something?
Did anybody want a reading, or what? We can go through and see if anybody wants a reading. You can put your name in the question now in the comments now if you would like a reading or any comments.
Yeah. So we got a couple of powerful galactic portals, like the 1212 gateway on Thursday, and that's always been really a powerful time in my process, where there's so many light code activations, even at this time of year, coming through the star systems and the sun from now through the solstice. So that was something that came to me years ago, is that they created this time of year to be so crazy that no one would have time to relax and receive. So one of the messages I did pull for all of us right now is, I just pulled a dragon card, was the green dragon. So whatever you all can do to get to some type of nature, and or if it's freezing cold and you don't like snow, then watch or listen to nature sounds. That will help to soothe your nervous system. It's like our nervous system gets over zapped this time of year, and that's what and with the solar flares too. So we've got an X-class solar flare coming in today. So that is it like ramps up, or it makes us feel like we've had like 20 cups of coffee, where we wake up in the middle of the night or we can't sleep, and then our heart's racing and all of that. So even if you can't get out to nature, especially in the northern hemisphere, winter is upon us. You can bring that energy to you via visuals. Like there's all these great visuals on YouTube as well. There's nature sounds. You can listen to just audio. Use your crystals. You know what I mean? Like because that will help to soothe your nervous system. Yeah.
Yeah, I got okay. But there was a couple people who wanted readings. Let me see here.
I see Alex.
Yeah, Alex. He says, "Can I get a general reading? Great show, Rob and PinkBella."
Oh, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So tap into your higher self and your energy. Thanks, Alex. That's great. Yeah. Oh, I'm just going to this deck too. General reading for Alex. So why don't we I'll like set the intention at whatever your higher self needs to bring in, Alex, for you for until the end of the year. Interesting. So you got Lemurian seed codes. You also got the Anunnaki card and memories of Atlantis, and then sacred inner space. And I'll pull a dragon for you too. Oh, they're just letting me know to like pull some tarot. So right off the bat, I think Alex was on my channel a couple of days ago. We were just talking about how intense the Mercury retrograde had been. Like Mercury kind of puts us like it. I posted something with the song "Back in Time" from Back to the Future. It's like
I
it
love
puts
that
us on.
song.
Yeah, me too. But it puts us on a previous timeline. And brings up all this stuff to heal and clear. Like that's why it pushed over. So that's the thing. Like some of the things. This is for Alex. Oh, I love this. I'm getting goosebumps. The things you've been working on and healing and clearing, Alex, that have been intense, have been connected to the fall of Atlantis. It's been connected to your lifetimes in Lemuria, and that you know about the dark beings. And that's some of the trauma and the dark night of the soul stuff that we've been clearing out. We don't get shown it in this reality, but I just want to let you know all your hard work has been because of that. You've done a big piece, and you're supposed to continue to meditate and find your inner peace on a daily level, and find that sacred, whatever sacredly works for you, to stay in balance. Let me pull a dragon for you too. We're almost through it, Alex. But you did that. They just want to let me know how much work you've done in the last couple of weeks through this retrograde. You've been healing and clearing multiple timelines. You got the earth and the air dragon as a message as well. And this is to you're representing you've been balancing being here on earth, and it's like what Joshua said. We're to be here, but not of it. And as we're awakening, we are embodying all the higher aspects, and you're bringing heaven to earth. So you're to stay balanced, ground your visions, and you're manifesting your hopes and dreams, and to keep going. And
Yeah.
I know it's frustrating. That's what Robin Arst is saying. It's frustrating because we feel like we're not getting anywhere, but I feel like we finally, after Mercury goes direct, we're going to really start to see things improve for everyone. What were you going to say, Rob?
Yeah.
Sorry.
There was someone from your chat that wanted a reading. Raya F. She's let me pull her up. I thought that would be
Okay.
right because like we did one. She says great discussion, and she says I would love a galactic reading. And thank you for joining us, Raya.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's great. Just to wrap up, Alex, because I just wanted to pull a card. Just keep standing your ground and setting boundaries, Alex. And I'm going to be talking about this on my channel as well. This Five of Pentacles, one of the key messages, I don't know if it's specifically for Alex or for everyone, they've been trying to reinstate poverty consciousness. They've been trying to reinstate that none of us are ever going to get anywhere. And they've been interfering with financial resources, specifically for Starseeds and Lightworkers. These are the archons, okay? But just keep going, stand your ground, keep setting boundaries with your energy, like clearing your energy, and everything will start to turn around for you. Okay. Thank you, Raya. Let's pull some cards. Yeah, so I'm going to ask, I've got a galactic deck too, so I'll pull a card from that deck for her as well. Hope you're having a good day. I'm going to ask your higher self to come in, and any galactic messages for you. So you also got the sacred inner space. Don't worry, the galactic stuff's coming. That's why I've got the galactic deck. Oh, this is interesting. You have your mission is coming forward, Raya. You're not to give up, but you are at the moment getting like downloads to understand like why you came. Like, we all came for many, many reasons, but why you came, like how to be of service, and you do have a starseed mission. And right now is a really powerful, they call it like an Akashic Stargate, and I think this is a great message for you and for everyone. Like the portal from the December 12th until the solstice, like around the 22nd, is a great time for you to be aligning with your intentions, what you wish to manifest for 2025. And so see this, the one at the background with the rainbow, the big door. I always hear like, don't limit yourself to what you want your dreams to be, that you can have the door at the back with all of it. So just to let you know that, and there's no wrong path. And right now you are aligning with your mission and your purpose. So I'll just pull a dragon, and then I'll pull some galactic messages, because there might not be like a specific galactic energy that comes in for you. Oh, this is interesting. You got the pure white dragon from Orion. So you have had experiences with the Orion system. That's always equated to the Star Wars movies. So you do remember on a soul level about the galactic battles and wars, and you have that wisdom around you, and you are here, you're healing that as well. What does it say? It says, process what you know, act with truth and honesty, and let your wings of light grow and expand. So even those of us, I've been there too, even those of us that had that experience, we came here on earth to heal that and then to move back into the light, right? There was a lot of trauma from the Orion system. All right, I'm going to just pull a couple of galactic cards and see if there's anything specific they want me to bring in for you. We got Pleiades. Yeah, Pleiades came in twice, so that's super strong. So you're definitely a Blu-ray. You're a Blu-ray starseed, and we all have a lot of different starseed origins, but we did pick kind of a home base close by. So you're very connected to Pleiades. You also have had interactions with the dark ETs, so you know about them as well, and you're also connected to the Lyra Vega system. Okay, so let me just look at this all together. This is actually, and it says survival fear. So this is actually a great message for you and for everyone. That's what this Mercury retrograde has been working on, bringing up any fear traumas that we might have locked into our lower chakras. And it's a past fear. It's a past thing. So anytime anything from like survival comes up, recode that with a positive affirmation and just know that you're just healing it from another reality and timeline. But that's the thing. Sometimes everyone, when we get really triggered, like let's use Rob's example of the YouTube channel, right, Rob, where it tricked into a trauma. So in some, and it's hard to understand, but in some other reality besides this life, you had everything that you worked and created for taken away from you.
Yeah.
And so when we have something happen, it puts us into shock and we know that we're in trauma. That's a huge multidimensional trauma. So that what they're saying for you as well, right, is that if that's a good message for you and for everyone, that if you get a trigger from now, through the holidays, that it's a multidimensional trigger, that it's not just something from this planet, but that you've gone through another experience. I love this. So it says Vega 73 freedom. This is Vega was a very high spiritual community like Atlantis with crystals and healing and sound frequencies. And you have this internal sovereignty and freedom focus where that drives all of us like to want to leave the matrix. And while it's very hard, it was hard even on Vega because that system fell as well. But it also, that's what we're all struggling with here, and you as well, because we have this internal mechanism that says, I want to be sovereign. I want to be in my power. I want to be free. Like, how can I do that here? That's what we're all learning. We're all doing it together. Then Pleiades came in twice. So you're very much a Blu-ray starseed, and your homing frequency for your existence here is the Pleiadian system. It's very much connected to Lemuria and the divine feminine and healing and being intuitive. One is the past and one is the present. So the one from the past says blind enthusiasm. What I'm hearing, and I think this goes for all of us, is that we were kind of told that our experience here on Earth was going to be a little bit different than we've had. It's like we got the brochure to come to Earth, and hasn't really so far been the way it's supposed to, but just to know that you are here healing everything. Like sources always shared with me, prime sources always shared with me, we can heal everything here. We can heal our traumas from the Orion system. We can heal something that happened with the Pleiadians. So even there are some people that have experienced bad things with some of the Pleiadians, like rogue Pleiadians that played around with our DNA. But overall, the message is like Pleiades present. You are a divine Blu-ray starseed that has information encoded into your DNA that's going to come online to help to share with the collective. And I get that with a lot of starseeds right now, is that everything's kind of been dormant. And it hasn't been safe to bring out a lot of information, but so many of you are being downloaded with schematics, to clean up the water, bring forward ideas, for the future to make the planet. I'll share this on my channel. I'm going live after this as well. I was given the information yesterday that we are all, some of you have been struggling with finances, and we are all here to rise above that like the phoenix. And then we're going to be part of the system to alleviate homelessness and poverty consciousness here on the planet. So that's pretty
That'd be
exciting.
great.
Yeah, we need that, don't we?
We
Yeah.
do. That's why I just sent you a PayPal because I got 2 nice super chats, but I won't see those for a month. But I had the money, so I mean, it's not like I have a lot of money, but I still sent you something because I
Oh,
appreciate
thank you, sweetie. Thank you. I appreciate that. Deep gratitude for the abundance for everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's why, guys, like definitely donate with PayPal if you like what we did today. You know, you like what we're doing and where you got benefit from it. Send us a PayPal and because I'd like to send even more to PinkBella and and what I was going to say with that is we got one super chat. This one's from Shiba Inu or Shiba Winu. She says wants to know if there's any messages for her. She says she haven't asked in a while. She got a few angel numbers when the live started. She said thank you.
Okay, Sheba, what angel numbers did you get? Because they've been coming back to me in a big way right now. Thank you so much, everybody. That's great. Yeah, I don't know if she can type in what angel numbers she's been getting. The numbers have been off the charts. Like they've been off the charts, the frequency. So yeah, pay attention to the numbers. Look them up, everyone. There's some great resources online. Okay, so you have, I think this has come in for you before, Shiva. You're so angelic. You've got like this real, you are very connected to the angels. This is a seraphim. So you very much have experienced other realities being angelic with wings, and you're going through a real attunement right now, and your voice is also going through an activation, an upgrade, and you do have divine support, even though maybe sometimes it hasn't felt like it, but you are divinely supported. What did she say? So you've been getting the 144, 1414, 144, 234. I love that. And I love when it's like 1 2 3 4 or 2 3 4. When those messages come in, I always receive the message. I'm in alignment. The universe is supporting me. I'm in the right place at the right time. And then the 1414, that would be a heads off to the 144,000. So you have that DNA frequency, and you're part of that tribe to do great, to help the planet be on mission. You're very much also connected to Lemuria. I don't know if that's come in for you before. So Lemuria, I kind of equate with more of a divine feminine healing frequency, like a pink ray, as opposed to Atlantis ended up at the end like more technology, like a turquoise ray. So you're very intuitive. You've had lifetimes in Lemuria, and you came in like you're very empathic. You came into your sensitivity is your superpower, and you're to trust that. So as an example, what I just shared with you is the nausea. That's one of my superpowers right now. I don't like it, but it sure lets me know when there's energy around that doesn't have good intentions for me or anyone else. Okay, so that your empathy is your sensitivity. That's you being angelic. That's you understanding that there's way more going on. Also, if you like to work with crystals and you have a Lemurian crystal, and if you don't and you want to get one, that would really align with your energy. You also right now at the moment you're going through a full light immersion system upgrade, and it's a time for you to reclaim your power and call your power back. That's a great message for all of us, because when part of my Mercury retrograde has been cleaning up old timelines with like previous relationships, places that I lived, places that I worked, clearing those timelines, and that helps to call our fractals back, our soul energy back. So that's what you're doing right now. You're calling your soul energy back. The dragon I got for you is the gold and the silver violet flame dragon. So if you like to work with dragons, that would be a great dragon to help you at this time for protection and transmutation. Again, the message came in is that you're very powerful with healing, and on the card they use the word magic, but I like superpowers. Like you are very intuitive, and if you will be like, you do have an opportunity to offer to be of service in those fields as well. So I'm gonna pull. I want to just pull like a galactic message for her and just see if there's anything in that. I know it's been super hard for not just, Rob and me. It's been really challenging for all of us because we've been told that we can do all these things, and we have felt so limited to be able to sometimes manifest the simplest things. But I was given that by the time we get to Christmas, the energy will start to feel lighter. It doesn't mean that we don't have any bumps on the road, but we're moving into, like, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay. So you got number 69, Lyra. So you are again, very connected to the Lyran system. Lyran energy is this natural humility. So there's 69. There's a number for you. Many of us are Lyran. That's actually why this came in for me. The Lyrans, many Lyrans got disbanded and lost their home and their stability because of the galactic takeover by the Archons. So Lyrans kind of had to scatter throughout the galaxy and the universe, and then also were always tracked. So there might be some things where you have felt like you've been followed or tracked, or why is that happening? Because you're healing you're healing your Lyran aspect to step more into your power. And when this came forward for me, it was for me to understand that was then and this is now. And that even that experience is giving you so much courage and strength to be here at this time. So thank you.
I love that. We just had one more. It was from Rhonda, Warrior for Truth. She sent a PayPal, and she says, let me see here. She said, let me see what she says. She's a targeted individual. She says, she says future long-term employment. She wants to know. Like, she wants to know if you see anything for her future long-term employment. Like,
stability, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you bring up the question?
She's interesting. I'll just tell you, she's a U.S. citizen seeking asylum in Ireland because she was targeted so bad in the United States. You know.
Yeah, and I'm getting my nausea. So
that's her.
Okay. Hi. Yeah. So I'm getting nausea. So that means, that you are being tracked. You are being. I don't like to use the word targeted, but yeah. So there are, what I've just come forward with recently, there's a video on my channel too, and I think on Rumble I was able to go into it more deeply about the Archons, about they've installed like these cloaked implants and technology around some of us. And I feel like you have some of that. That's not to scare you. It just, I think everybody does to a certain degree. And it's hidden. And it comes through, like, the stuff I cleared for me was around work travel. I traveled through a lot of airports. I went to a lot of different locations. I worked in tech for years, and they just managed, we were all used as like experiments for sure. So let me just pull some messages I'm going to pull some tarot for you too, to just see. I'm already hearing too about so I've been here too, about stable income and work. So you want to listen to and work on your root chakra, healing and clearing that out and giving you stability. And then I also work with something called the Earth Star. So you could check into that too, because when we stabilize our root chakra to our Earth Star, we're more supported by the planet. But they want us all to believe that we don't have that capability, that we're not allowed to be that. Okay. Yeah, so I got at the bottom of the deck, I got the Halls of Amenti Initiation. So let's see the checkerboard. So this is my key. So some of the targeting has been connected to the groups here on the planet that control all the resources. So it's been part of the process as well. Like, they want to continuously traumatize you over and over and over again, but you're going to overcome it. You're actually, at the moment right now, you're kind of in a rest and recharge period. So you're being guided to kind of find things on a daily basis that bring you inner peace and balance, and give yourself permission to do that. Like, a life-changing thing that I did was one day wake up and tell the matrix messages that were telling me that I didn't have time to do anything. I told them to be quiet, and I went to the forest and I went to nature. And I can't do it every day, but I do that. Like, make a choice and do something that will bring inner peace for you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just pull some tarot for you and see.
They're saying Maya has something too. I didn't know she had a question. I guess she's got an. I don't know. Well, I guess we can get to her next. I didn't
see. Yeah, is Maya still here? I didn't really see it. Okay, so
I
didn't see a question that came in with the chat. So right now, look at there you are. You've got all these potential doorways and possibilities of making a new beginning, a fresh start. It's like, and then you got like, and I'll pull some clarifications. You got the Truth card. So you needed to understand it. learning the truth about what's going on in the matrix has been unbelievably blows our minds, right? Like what, and the whole thing, the flip side of it is you actually came in to heal it, to learn about it, to learn about the truth, and then get stronger and heal it. And then you got the hope card, the star card, which is like you have a hopeful, positive future. Like when we all have traumas. That was the name of the game. We either had them in this lifetime, we had them from family, we got them ancestrally, or we came in with like a multidimensional trauma. So you are, the whole idea was you needed to find out the truth and know what was going on so you could heal it and get stronger. Okay. So I'm going to I want to see if there's any other messages.
She says she wanted me to let you know she's been digging down that rabbit hole for 30 years. She says so. Yeah, it's amazing what the confirmations you're coming up with. This is an amazing reading.
Yeah. So because I feel like we've all kind of gone through different types of scenarios. It's just labeled something different in the different communities. But if we all have, like, you know, even Rob talking about his accident, right? Like there's thing something weird happened to me on Lionsgate in 2014, and I fractured my elbow. Right up until that time, I'd never done anything to myself. So and that traumatized me. So that there's always this weird stuff. So, okay. You're kind of in the, okay. Overall, you got a great message. You got the 10 of Cups, celebration, positivity. So I feel like even with this card, it's like you're being given an opportunity. You got the Page of Wands. You're being given an opportunity to kind of choose and figure out what you want to do. Right? Like when a page comes in, it's the beginning, like it's the ideal phase. So they're letting me know to let you know that there's no, like, this is what the doorway is about. There's no wrong way. And that you're kind of in the patience and planning stage, and you're working on healing what's already happened. And and this is actually a great message. They got the 4 of Pentacles. So they want that whole programming for you was that you're not worthy and you don't deserve to have abundance. So that's another great thing to, while you're healing with the root chakra, is to listen to positive affirmations about abundance and prosperity and recode what's been programmed into you. And that's across the board. That's in the matrix. They want to send out this message that no one can ever make it. They want us all to be these workhorses. Yeah. And that there's never going to be abundance, right? Right now, they're just letting me know. I'll pull another couple cards. They're just letting me know, the moon card came in, that the choice free is still up to you right now, but the information, like to say yes or no, is being hidden. And the star, you do have galactic benevolent beings that are helping you. So I feel like now is like a great time for you to be journaling and figuring out everything. Ireland sounds great. Right. But I do know I've got Irish dissenting. There's nowhere. This is what I've learned with all the traveling. There's nowhere to go on the planet to get away from the programming that they've given to us about poverty consciousness, because it's everywhere. Yeah. And this is subliminal messages that they send out to all of us. So, and our ancestors were also traumatized by poverty consciousness. They want us all to believe, like they want all the big elites want to say, we have all the money and you have none. Right.
Yeah, so and we get that epigenetic programming from our ancestors, right? Because they went through hard times and they teach it. Yeah, they have, it's almost ingrained in them, so it becomes ingrained in us that we're supposed to go through hard times, but that's not it. We can bend our reality. We can change our reality. You know what I mean? We can, right? We can manifest our reality, you know? We can, but what we were talking about with the hacking, and that's what we're recoding right now, and it's going to get weaker and weaker. Okay, they're letting me know. So yeah, there's a couple of cards that have come up about that. So it's like you came in to heal that as well, like to heal that aspect. Like you're not the only individual. I would say 99% of the people on the planet that are either awake or not awake that are that's what we're healing right now. They don't want us to heal that, but so I've been, like, for many of us, I have been listening and clearing and healing things around this and abundance blocks connected to my ancestors since 2018. And there's been a big piece that's come up for all of us. So one of the questions they're letting me know to share with you is, like, what will make you happy? What would you like to do that will bring you joy and happiness? And if it is Ireland and that you want to go there, then it will manifest. You got the Ace of Wands. Okay. So
Yeah. What we don't realize is we actually do have a choice. But I know that if we're targeted here, we're targeted wherever we go. They will find us wherever we go. So think about the movie The Matrix. Think about, X-Files. Think about whatever. So I remember having to stand still, and I thought, okay, I'm going to heal what they don't want me to heal. I'm going to listen to abundance affirmations because it's an ancestral thing. It's like what Rob was sharing. It goes back to, that's what happened to our ancestors. Like whenever the flip happened on the planet, a few people had a lot of the gold, and then they just said, everybody else, you're not worth it. You're not worthy. We all know we're all worthy. So it doesn't have anything to do with who we are now, but the pointing it out to you actually has been a really big gift to help you heal it. And then you'll be able to move forward. Okay. Let me just pull like one card around Ireland. Yeah, the star card came in, which is the hope card again. You got that twice. So you've got it. It potentially could be a very positive, like, new beginning for you. All right, hope. And you do have a connection with Ireland, and I'm hearing the Palladians. So let me hear. I've got Irish descent actually, but if we think about Ireland, that is also like a very big country where they wanted to implant poverty consciousness. Right, like the Irish famine and all of that. That was because there's so much starseed potential in the Irish DNA.
Warrior for She says, hope and faith goes a long way. Yeah, he does.
It does, yeah. And that's, I think, the rising out of the ashes is like, we have a bad day. It all feels like it's tumbling down. And then, be really good to yourself, try and have a good sleep, do a reboot, and then come at it fresh, right? Some of the energy interference has been from the dark ETs, just to let you know. The message is to promote enlightenment. Isn't that interesting? Right? There always is a positive out of whatever we feel that they're doing to us. Reptilians have been involved as well to bring forward primal fears. I remember, 4 years ago when I started really looking at the dark ETs, I was terrified. I didn't want to look at them. I didn't want to know that they were here. Like, no, thank you. And look what came up. Palladians. And Palladians are really super connected to the Irish country. So yeah, to me, it looks like the star councils are guiding you into a new reality, which is nice.
Oh man, yeah. I was just joking around with people in the chat, but so okay. Well, the Andromeda won't let me go if I don't ask his question. Or he keeps asking like this question over and over again. He says, he says, will you do a reading for me? He says, he wants to know his connection to the planet named Centurion 5.
Where have I heard that before? Where is Centurion 5, Andromeda?
He heard it. I think he heard it from Arkeem. Arkeem told him about it. Like, so he's trying to get a confirmation. Maybe these from. I'm not sure about it.
Is it in the Arcturian system? Because I've heard it before, and I didn't hear it from that individual. So it's some kind of galactic place that we all know about. The matrix is dissolving due to the increase of solar activity. That's right. So I think that's why we're supposed to keep positive about what we're doing, our recoding, because we're just finally getting somewhere. Centurion 5. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard of that planet before. What's your connection to it? Okay, I'm just tapping into the records, and for you, I'm just hearing it was a galactic home base. A galactic home base for you, and that you're very comfortable wanting to be there. Now I want to look it up because I don't know how close it is to Earth, but I have heard of it before.
I've never heard of it. I've never heard of it before. Like. It could be. You know what someone told me the other day? Someone said for every star there's a planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's even around Jupiter. There's multiple moons around Jupiter. There's been so much information that's been held back from us of like what's actually going out there in the constellations. But
Yeah, they
yeah,
say NASA never a straight answer. You know, NASA never a straight answer. You
I
know,
love
like
that. I love that. All right, so your connection to the energy of Centurion 5, you had a lot more abilities there. Like your third eye was open, you could consciously, easily, and effortlessly manifest, like I think about on Star Trek, where you just order something and it just arrives, right? Um, yeah, and like this card, the Venetian Galactic Council came in. It's a very heart-based energy. It's a very soft energy. It's not rough like it is here on Earth. So what else do they want me to bring in for you? You have family there. It says embracing family. You have family there. And you also, like, I'm not sure where it is in the galaxy, but it's also connected to the Lyran system. So you actually could have come from there through the Lyran system to here. And something happened that removed you. There, most likely it was a galactic battle, and you ended up in the Orion system as
yeah,
well.
that's Master Light's kind of backing you up there. She says it's a refuge center for base. It's a refuge center and base or something like that. It's
Yeah, I'd have to look into like the history of it, because I feel like even like that's what it is now. And that makes sense though, right? So if we think about that reality, so as a Lyran, we would have been a refugee because our home
yeah.
world got decimated. So everybody had to scatter. So Centurion, that's so interesting. But I'm
Is
thinking
that
as
what
a,
we are here? Do you think we're refugees of the? I
yeah.
mean, like, or do you think we were genetically manipulated? Like, in what? Like, do you think
Well,
we were?
all of the above. All of the
So some of
above.
us could have been genetically manipulated humans. Some of us could be star seeds that came in. You know. Well, no, I
Yeah.
mean, you could
Well,
still come in
both.
as a star seed in a genetically manipulated body, right? I mean, I
That's
know it gets
me.
tricky.
No, that's me. So I was a starseed, but I came into an ancestral lineage where the human DNA got manipulated.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Huh.
it's confusing, right? Let me just, I'm gonna pull a dragon. So yeah, you've got memories. Yeah, you've got memories. That's so interesting, a refugee, because I'm thinking before it was a refugee center and base. I wonder, does anybody know where it is? Like, is it in our galaxy or is it beyond? I keep hearing
He
Arcturian,
said
but
it's a breakaway civilization.
so I'm thinking it's like a safe house for starseeds that are on the run. Yeah. Yeah. So
Oh
if we
wait,
think about,
this is a.
so we think about
Oh,
when
sorry. Go ahead.
no, it's okay. So if we think about when the Lyran system got obliterated, a lot of Lyrans knew what was coming down ahead of time, and everybody scattered and left. So some Lyrans went to Pleiades, some went to the Sirius system, Arcturus, other systems, but some Lyrans were more hunted than others because of like information, what they knew. Doesn't it all sound familiar? Right? So there would have had, think about Star Wars, about how the Rebel Alliance had to find bases to hide. So yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
Can we? I'm so sorry. I know we're busy, but can we do one more?
Yep.
Because this is one that I'd missed. I guess like this is from Maya, and she was the one who gave a bigger donation. She says she wrote mine twice. She needed an answer, please. I guess she says she's asking for what happens to a soul if there are human intervention then medical aid to die. A loved one asked this for if it's for January. I'm not sure what she means. Do you get what she means?
Asking what happens to a soul if there's a human intervention, the medical. Oh, like
Oh, so if there's like an
medical
assisted suicide.
assistance. Yeah,
Yeah.
medical assistance. Loan asked for January. Thank you. Um, So I think it's a concept that's kind of hard for a lot of us to wrap our heads around, because in this reality, it's fairly new. But then if we look at the animal kingdom, like pets, it's accepted to
Yeah.
help pets that are ill. And I remember when I was younger thinking, well, why is it for pets but not humans? Why if some humans are like suffering, they're in so much pain, do they have to keep going through that for months, right? So, oh, okay. So what you want to know is what happens to the soul. Okay.
I would say it probably gets the same opportunity as any other soul, you know, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
That's
it's
what I'm
just the
hearing. Yep.
stigma that we have around it. Would you say that it's just the
Yeah.
stigma that we have
Because
around it?
yeah, so let's equate it to, what if something traumatic happens to a soul, like that their time comes to an end really quickly and it wasn't planned. So that soul goes into trauma. So we have, and especially if you know this person, because I actually helped my dad when he transitioned. You can just make sure that that individual is wrapped in light and set intentions for them that they go home to source, that they have their angels and their guides come and work with them and take them home. We actually have the right to do that. Yeah.
I love that. I was just going to say, I think it's all about being like comfortable with being passing to the other side. And you just said that beautifully. Like, I don't think you could have said it any other better way. Like, I think we need to be ready to transition. It'd be different if someone like took their life, if they shot themselves in the head and like took their life early, that I think that would be a different situation. But when someone's going willingly because they're going through too much pain on the earth and they set up their transition the right way, I think there's nothing, you know what I mean? I think and you said that beautifully again,
Yeah. And I feel like the Arcturians came in. So the Arcturians are like a really powerful, benevolent race that I've been working with. They've got light ships all around us. So they're like in the future. So yeah, that's what they're letting me know. So we've had all this imprinting about how we're supposed to transition. Like it's supposed to be perfect. We're supposed to hang on till whenever. Even souls that have taken their life early, which I guess would equate to like people might think that this is wrong because it's the same way. But there's all sorts of things going on the planet that they haven't told us about that have been even worse than that. Like that, that they experiment on people, that they create all this stuff. So I feel like if a soul absolutely knows that they're ready to go, it's a divine, it's like their soul is guiding them to do that as well. But absolutely say a prayer for them, ask them, wrap light. That's what I did with my dad, and to make sure there was no funny business. And the Arcturians are just saying we're going to kind of get used to people wanting to transition from this reality in different ways. It's like a divine intervention, right? The other thing is that this is probably a truth that we don't want to look at, but think about what happened with the magic potions. A lot of souls were forced to leave against them knowing. So that's going to create karma for the people that did that, right? Or someone who, I think, like in the past, there was retribution and fear about if someone also decided to take themselves out because they could no longer be here. Well, this is a hard planet to be on. Like there's lots of stuff that could have happened to that individual, lots of trauma. So I feel like even those souls now are no longer being recycled. They are being like, here, let me take you, and we're going to help heal you after the transition. I do know that the soul starts to leave anyway. It starts to leave before the actual thing. Or think about a court case where somebody is sentenced to that, right? Isn't that like a system that's making their own decisions about someone's life? Yeah. So I think it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, thank you for that. And thank you for staying longer and doing readings. This was amazing. And
thank you.
I think that this was another great show. I think like we every time we get together, we create magic, we really do, it's awesome, I guess the next time we'll meet will be January. Do you have any closing thoughts or anything?
I'm going to just take a break, but if anybody wants to come over to my channel, I'm going to do live and take some questions and see how everybody's doing. So that would be that. If anybody wants to work with me, I've got some awesome Akashic Record sessions on offer for the holidays on my website. And yeah, just great to be here. I love connecting with all of you. Thank you all for coming out today. Love being with Rob. And yeah, can't wait for January because I feel like January is going to be a powerhouse month.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. And I guess, and check out PinkBella's website. All of the links are in the description, her Spotify podcast, her YouTube, subscribe. And as far as me, like my links are in the description too. Again, I have this stuff. This is like the Blue Magic. This is a dietary supplement.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like an energy drink, and then I have the weight loss coffee. I have the weight loss tea. I don't have, I have examples back there. I didn't bring them up here. I should have, but like if anybody's interested, it's basically a weight loss tea and a detox. So it detoxes your system.
That's why I've seen it. That's how I've seen it. Yeah.
And then the coffee has like reishi mushrooms and healthy functional mushrooms in it. And so if anybody's interested in any of that, email me at typicalskeptic1@gmail.com. I have a bunch of product I need to get rid of. And thank you guys so much. And I'll be back tomorrow. I have Kathy O'Brien at 2 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, that's my next show. I'm off the rest of the night, so maybe I'll check out your stream when you go live here in a little bit.
That'd be good. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a break and get some tea. But anyway, thank you so much. Thanks, Rob. It was awesome as usual.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.